Hello viewers and subscribers, welcome to my YouTube channel, that is Jupiter Linked.
Hakador barmangkin ka ha assembly uba Ardent lawan ra da kajingatai ka belingkot halor ka kaifuat jung ka reservation policy namar ka jing perne bet kumju ya ka reservation policy hakini kising baladep ukura sangma ulaong ba umla ban bertelai ka an tungkam nane ka reservation policy ndai ka sabet kumakalong ka reservation policy jung usnam khat kendai spa nyopar nakaliang uba Ardent ulaong ngim kwah ban knino ya ka hog jing Garo ndai kat kum ka jing ajing mod ka export committee ni kwah 90% ni Khasi-Jaintia uba Ardent ulaong ya ka sorkar tungin penkiu 90% ni Khasi-Jaintia bat ngim dai ban kata ya ka 90% jung Garo ki Khasi-Jaintia ki kampun paj ban ki Garo kum ta ka sorkar ka dai ban pentela ya ka bahat pungkam lada ka sorkar ka penkiu 90% ni Khasi-Jaintia bat kan penne bet 90% ni Garo ki samla jungi kita perto barsa jingkan mau ya kan ka sorkar laong susu uba Ardent.
Sir, at the outset I would profusely thank you for giving me this opportunity and allowing to raise this issue which is very sensitive in nature. So as I stand here today to speak about the report of the expert committee on the state reservation policy, state of Meghalaya. So I feel that I need to remind this August House that though we are discussing a very sensitive issue, we are doing it with a great sense of responsibility. And again, I would like to remind this August House that when we asked asked the government to review, we were not asking, to take away the rights of our Garo brothers and sisters. However, we are here to present the fact before the government and the need to review this policy. I don't want to many questions that may be drawn from the report. However, I want to move forward and place some submissions before the government so that we will understand why we raised this issue. So, on behalf of the people and on behalf of the voice of the people, sir, we know that the people of Khasi-Jaintia region are not accepting this recommendation, and indeed they were in great shock to see that the recommendation is to maintain the policy of 1972. So, and one of the main reasons that this recommendation made in this report is that there is an apprehension that if we review or change this policy, it might fail the judicial scrutiny. So, sir, this is a legislature where laws are made in the legislative assembly. And in many cases, we have come across that judicial will hardly interfere with the policy matters of the government. However, sir, I would like to go to the original reservation policy adopted in 1972. When you read this para 1 and para 2, you can, if you read between the lines, you can understand the minds of the leaders who framed this policy. So in para 1, in pursuance of clause 4 of article 16 of the Constitution of India, and keeping in view the inadequacy of representation of these communities, meaning the Khasis and the Garos, in the services under the autonomous state of Meghalaya in terms of their population, that consistently with the maintenance of efficiency, which means that we cannot compromise the efficiency in the administration. The following reservation shall be made in favor of the scheduled tribes and scheduled castes. And if you go to para 1.2, if sufficient number of suitable candidates for filling up the reserved vacancies is not available from the respective classes in any particular year, then such vacancies will be available to others, but the deficiency will be carried forward to the next recruitment year and made good in the recruitment of that year, provided that the reservation policy on account of the deficiency shall not be carried forward for more than 1 year. So if this remains, there is no problem, sir. But in the wake and in the backdrop of the decision of the court that we need to have a roster system, that is where the problem starts. You see, if we go by the roster system, which I strongly believe that those leaders, they didn't have a roster system so that they will make this policy flexible. You know, in the sense that as brothers, to maintain the brotherhood among these two, between these two committees, in respect of implementing these policies. I can read that when I read this policy, when I try to read between the lines. So, as it is, we know that our Garo brothers cannot compete with us. But it was mentioned here clearly that not more than 1 year can be carried forward in case of deficiency. So, sir, in fact, we would expect, because as I've said, we are not going to take away the rights of our Garo brothers, that from that 40 to reduce to 30 or 35. At least we expect that this recommendation should give a recommendation to the government to increase for the Khasi community 47. That will come under 50. So we are anticipating that if we give 47 to the Khasis and keep the 40% to Garo, the court might interfere. So it is an open secret. This matter has been raised in the court, and the court did not question the policy. The court questioned the absence of a roster in implementing the policy. So, sir, should we wait for the court to decide? And now this matter has been become public. Who knows that maybe one or the other will approach the court even for the existing policy. And going by the observation of the courts in many and various cases where some people are being employed under the wrong policy. So the court does not only squash the policy, it affected those also who are employed through the wrong policy or a bad policy or an illegal policy. What will happen in that case? If the court intervene, as we hypothetically mentioned, what will happen to those who have been recruited under this current policies? So, sir, therefore, I feel that the government should move one step forward. We should not fight shy or try to hide that the numbers of educated youths among the Khasis are huge, sir. So the pressure on our youths is so huge. So if the government decides to increase 7% from the existing, that will, will give, I'm not saying 100% satisfaction, but at least it will ease the situation. I've been traveling Garo Hills extensively, and when I meet many people there, I frankly told them that, you see, we are not going to take away our rights. We believe in God's principle, in justice. So when we say justice, we mean to say just and fair. So, sir, therefore, though the recommendation made a mention that population should not be the only factor, However, sir, I feel that we cannot write off the significance of the population structure, because it will only affect the spirit. Because our leaders, they brought this policy in order to make sure that in terms of population, we should not underrepresent. So when we compare the population between the Garos and the Khasis, we are almost double than the population of our Garo and brothers and sisters. So which is why, so I feel that let us together take a decision and let us, cross the bridge when we come to it. Let us not decide now that we will not be able to review. Let us take a bold decision. Let us raise 47% to the Khasis community, and let us not touch the 40% of the Garo community. In that way, I'm sure, sir, even our Garo brothers, they will accept it. Because there is, when I discussed with them, they told me, no, sir, we are a little bit apprehensive. Maybe if there is a change in the policy, they might take away or they might reduce from that quota which is meant for us. So, sir, I think if the government is judiciously exercises mind, as I've said, I don't want to question about the nature of the recommendation. I don't want to question, because I'm not here to criticize. In fact, this is a serious matter. I don't want that this issue will become an issue between Garo or Khasis. What an irony is that when I was the president of the Federation of Garo and Jaintia people, I was branded here as a leader who is pro-Garo. And now when I'm the president of the Voice of the People, they are saying that, oh, he is anti-Garo. You see, I am as I am today, and I don't have any hatred against anyone. But I understand the pressure of our youths, the pressure as far as employment is concerned. So, sir, therefore, I would like to request the government that let us increase, because we should not wait for someone or for the court to decide the future of our youths. If we can increase, then this government will be remembered by the youths of the state that yes, it has taken a bold decision where no government in the past has the courage to do it. So, and pending this, the change in the ratio of proportion, I would strongly urge the government not, to implement the policy or the roster retrospectively. The government should not implement the roster system retrospectively. This is a very clear message that I would like to convey through you, sir, to the government. And so, as I've said, in fact, it was not expected that the government will sit for 8 months on the simple recommendation that the policy will remain or will retain the 1972 policy. So we really expect that the government will share its concern, its sentiments with the local youths, the Khasis who are here, who are being, unnecessarily undergo through many tremendous pressure in the wake of this roster system, which is mandatory for the state to implement the roster system. So, sir, as I've said, I still expect, though the report is not as we expect, but I still hope that goodwill will prevail in this house, and I sincerely hope that the government under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister will seriously sit and let us not conclude that we will retain this 1972 policy. So with these few words, sir, I wish you mercy.